Now here we have week 7 and week 8 of Inktober 52. Now week 7, I really didn't know what to draw for dinner. I didn't want to do a meal, like a cooked meal, because it can be quite hard to show the food in black and white. And I just really couldn't think of what I could do for a cooked meal and make it look sort of reasonable, although I'm sure many other people did manage to do a complete meal. So I decided what I most like is vegetables, especially raw vegetables and salad. So I thought I'm going to do some of my favourite vegetables that can be eaten raw. So the peppers, I absolutely love peppers. They're so much fun to draw. They're such a wonderful shape. And of course I got very tempted to put colour on, and with the same with the tomato and the cucumber and the little onions at the back, and mushrooms are just such a wonderful shape. Really had a lot of fun doing the mushrooms, and I think it turned out really well. I decided not to do a chopping board or a plate or anything, just to put the vegetables, just, and I think tomatoes of course are fruit, aren't they, that, but I love fruit as well. But there's just something about the peppers, they're just so nice to draw. And this was just trying to remember what colour they were now. It was I think it was a red and a green pepper, but honestly they're just so much fun. And I love the stalks on the top of peppers as well. They quite often like have very interesting shape and texture. And cucumber, I can't remember ever drawing cucumber or salad onions before, but they were great fun to do as well. So I think it's turned out quite well, and I was so tempted to colour in the tomato and the peppers and the cucumber, and I thought, well, where do you stop? I can't just colour in one thing, I'm going to have to colour the whole lot. But in the end I decided hadn't got the right shades anyway, didn't want to mess about, so I think it's quite effective just with the grey and the black pens. And then you can see I've used an A5 sheet of paper here for week 8, which was spider. I really didn't want to draw a spider. I did a spider in Inktober 2017. I found them really hard to draw, and I did do a spider's web, which came out quite nicely. It was quite small. But for this, I wanted to just concentrate on the patterns rather than being a realistic spider's web, because I really love messing about with patterns. So this is my little sort of spirally based spider's web design. It's not meant to look like a real spider's web. I just studied lots of pictures of spiders' webs, and they do actually vary quite a lot. And in fact, each of these spider web pictures, I did 6 in the end. They only took me 5 minutes each because I was just working with a silver pen. I didn't plan anything at all. I just sort of started drawing. And you can correct mistakes on black card if you use some little bit of black ink or a black pen. So it is easy to correct a small mistake. All is not lost if you're using black paper. If you're worried about not being able to draw straight away with a pen, you can use a little bit of white pastel pencil, or very lightly a white coloured pencil as an outline. I didn't plan anything with this. Even the straight lines, they're not completely straight. I just drew them in one go with a pen. Have a little practice first on a practice sheet of paper at drawing lines and spirals, and then just let it flow. I find it so much easier, and quite often I've mentioned before, probably here or definitely to other people, that my practice piece often turns out so much better than the original. And my son was saying that's because you're relaxed, you're not worrying about it. And so this is what I tried to do with these pictures, was to just try not to worry about it, try not to be too neat and precise, but just let the pen flow across the paper. So there we go, it's another 2 weeks of Inktober 52. I've got some exciting new pens to try, which I'm going to be featuring in my next video. So hopefully be back in my proper workspace soon. We're still clearing up from the latest water problems, but hopefully I can access my desk to show you how these lovely new Pitt pens work and compare them to my original Pitt pens.